Hello and welcome back to the Watford Way, and today is your Watford versus Rotherham full match reaction. If you haven't already, please go back and watch the match vlog that I uploaded yesterday to get my immediate reaction to the match. But yes, today I've had time to sleep on the match, reflect on the result, and I have to say I'm very, very frustrated. I thought the Rotherham performance generally was kind of what I expected from them. They're a team who were in the relegation zone before the game, and I think that showed in their performance. From the very off, they were time wasting. The referee actually booked one of their players for time wasting, I think about 20-30 minutes into the game. And it really set the precedent for the game going forward. I thought Rotherham, in terms of their game plan and what they set out to do, they played really, really well. And I think Watford have, struggled to play against teams like them this season. You look at Blackpool, I think we lost 3-1 against them. Really, really difficult game. The Millwall games have been really tough. And these two Rotherham games we've played this season have been really, really tough as well. And all these teams have played a very, very similar way. Basically, two banks of four, and they basically look to frustrate Watford, whether that be through fouls, whether that be through really, really strong defensive performances, whether that be through being really physical. I think these Watford players find it difficult at times to break them down, and especially at the moment with the quality we're lacking in the first team. I mean, you saw it in the game, two academy players coming on. Yes, Toby Adeyemo scored last week, but for a championship team, looking to push for promotion, bringing two academy players on when you're trying to win the game, when it's 1-1 at the time, is not very inspiring, really, to fans in the stands. I think when we get all our players back, you look at Loser, Joao Pedro, Keenan Davis, a few other players as well. When we get them back into the first team, I think, we'll have a really, really good squad. However, at the moment, I have to say I'm a bit of a fraud, because the last match reaction I did, I'm sure I said that Watford, if we went on a really, really good run, would be able to catch potentially Sheffield United. But after looking at the results that happened a couple of days ago, with Burnley winning, with Sheffield United winning, and Watford struggling to beat a really poor Rotherham side, I don't think now that we can get automatic promotion, which of course is a shame. And I do flip-flop week to week, so I do apologise if I am a big fraud. But yeah, when Watford go on a good run, I obviously get very excited. And then results like this Rotherham game kind of bring me back down to earth. Looking at the game now, it was very, very frustrating. I have to say, by the way, before we get into the game itself, William Schuster-Kong, it seems is going to be moving on from Watford, and it looks like he made his last appearance for the club yesterday in that Rotherham game. So I'm quite sad actually to see William Schuster-Kong leave the club, because he does seem to be one of the main leadership figures in the squad at the moment, especially with all the injuries we've got. And as a centre-back option, as a backup option, I believe he's really, really good and a good asset to have at the club. So I'm really sad to see that it looks like William Schuster-Kong is moving on from Watford. So I wish him all the best. And it was great to see him wave goodbye to the fans after the game yesterday. But looking at the team, very similar to what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Bio up front, Ismaila Sarr, Hamza Chowdhury back in midfield again, which is great to see. Mario Gaspar in midfield with Ismail Kone. The back four pretty much the same. We did see a few of our new signings start from the beginning this time. Obviously, Ismail Kone started, Matthias Martin started, and Joao Ferreira started as well. I'll get on to Joao Ferreira in just a second. But yeah, the first half was okay. I think the first 15 minutes, Watford played quite well in terms of the attacking sense. We hit the bar, and we were dominating Rotherham really throughout the entirety of them first 15 minutes. And then they started to get their way in the game. They committed a few fouls, a few refereeing decisions went their way, and they grew into the game. And obviously they had a few shots on goal. Daniel Batman pulled out some great saves. Unfortunately, one of the saves Daniel Batman made actually was parried out to a Rotherham player. I think it was Shane Ferguson who scored their goal on 20 minutes into the game. It wasn't a good way to start the game, really. I mean, it was a pretty poor goal for Watford to concede. The players' heads went down pretty much as soon as that goal went in. And me sitting in the stands, I felt the fans, starting to turn already. I had a lot of people around me getting quite frustrated at what was happening on the pitch. And it was frustrating to watch, especially because Ismaila Sarr, who is meant to be the main guy in this team, for me anyway, I don't know about you guys, let me know in the comments below, but he did go missing again in this game. Against Blackpool, we saw the best of Ismaila Sarr. He ran at people, he created chances. He scored a goal in that Blackpool game. However, in this Rotherham game, again, it got really physical. Ismail Assar struggled to deal with their physicality, with their defensive structure, then playing two banks of four, essentially. So, yeah, for me, another poor game from Ismail Assar. And we kind of went into half-time quite down, and I felt quite depressed actually watching the game from the stands. I just felt that, seeing Burnley and Sheffield United win the day before, I kind of sat there and thought, we are not competing for these automatic promotion places. And I was probably getting too carried away. Obviously, Watford beat Norwich, then we beat Blackpool. So I was very positive. But then watching Watford against this Rotherham side, it wasn't very good. However, the second half begins and Watford, as always, Slaven Bilic probably gave them a good bollocking at half-time. Watford were on the front foot in the second half, shooting towards the rookery end. And Joao Ferreira, on his first Watford start, comes up with his first Watford goal. He drives into midfield from that right-back area. And I have to say, I did not expect the shot to go in. It was like a low-driven shot across the ground, right into the bottom left-hand corner. I think the goalkeeper just about gets a glove on it, but there was too much power. And at that point, Watford go into the second half really at 1-1 and in the dominance, asserting their dominance in the game. However, it wasn't to be for Watford. We had numerous opportunities to score, mostly actually through Mario Gaspar popping up in some really good positions. Matthias Martins hit the bar as well. And it just wasn't to be for Watford in this game. And for me, if you want to get promoted automatically, let alone by the playoffs, you have to be beating teams like Rotherham. And I have to say, actually, I'm just going to go onto Google here very quickly because I do think Watford have a very, very tough run of fixtures coming up. So I'm just looking at the fixtures now, and we've got Middlesbrough away, Reading away, Blackburn at home, Burnley away, and then West Brom at home, and then Sheffield United away. So a very, very, very tough run of fixtures for Watford coming up. I think the only saving grace is it looks to be like in the next week or 2 weeks, we are going to see 3, 4, maybe 5 players return from injury. Slaven Bilic hinted at that in his post-match press conference. He didn't actually mention the names of the players that are going to be returning. However, if we look at the timelines of the injuries that have occurred and when we're expecting them to come back, I think Tom Cleverley, Imran Louza, Joao Pedro, Keenan Davis could all be making appearances for Watford in the next couple of weeks if all things go well. So all being well, hopefully them players should be back for Watford in the next few weeks. And hopefully, as I said earlier, we're not going to get automatic promotion this season. But in terms of our playoff push and finishing as high up in the league as possible, having them players back is going to be a really, really big help. And actually, Watford have yet to announce the signing of Arajo from Benfica. So that obviously adds to our attacking options as well. So it's positive, but I'm just not feeling that positive after the game yesterday. So that's my thoughts on the game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as I mentioned earlier, if you've yet to watch our match day vlog from yesterday, make sure to go and do so as well. That was really, really fun to record. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I really appreciate your support here on The Watford Way. If you've yet to do so, please subscribe as well to the channel. Please leave a like on the video, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Bye-bye.